right. GM everyone. It's a new day. I'm super excited to be hosting us here again. Um again, for those who care to know my name, I'm David, but I go by the nickname Elgiod, and this is a great day. We just want to go a bit further into the conversation we began yesterday. I really do hope we can actually make some strategic progress, and I look forward to making um more friends in the course of this our live session. All right, so we began the Clarity Act discussion yesterday, and trust me, the market has been so responsive, and I think this is what it is right now. Some way somehow I was really telling myself, okay, fine, we are going to probably rise beyond what we're seeing, right? Which is where we currently are. And a part of me was like, okay, maybe what if we don't? Probably we drop a little bit here. The truth is we don't hold the gateway to defining when exactly the market bottom is in. And which is more reason why I keep saying shout out to those who bought this market at this point and they keep holding it right now. Yeah, so I think that for me it's quite important. And again, maybe you'd say the Clarity Acts and the news around that began to put some bit of prayer into the market as I say, and everyone is beginning to say, oh yeah, this is trust me, I think there's really so much in the pipeline that people don't know about the market. So today we're gonna be looking at the Bitcoin price action, and let's be sure we can hear me well. Okay. Yeah, very much. GM, if you're in the live room, drop a greeting. Also dropping greeting. I think I can actually also share with those who are a part of our community. Yeah, so practically why we're here. Let's engage live room, get people join us, hit the ground running, and get going for discussion. There's gonna be a going back. You're live. I'm dropping this live room community. So if you can always do a little bit of sharing also yourself, it's gonna be like very much appreciated. Before we hit the ground running, I think sound is nice, everything is going smoothly to the best of my knowledge. I think interestingly, if you care to know, we're also live on YouTube, and hey Maura, I can see you, man. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so we really have some few things we really want to discuss today. And what is it? It has to do with the future of the market. I have taken my time to do a bit of analysis prior to today of are you on volatility? I just want to be so sure everyone can see what I'm actually showing, and so we're on the same page. I'm actually on BTC, so we're on BTC USDT chart. So the fellow asking what chart we are on, right? We're on BTC USDT. Do you want some analysis on VIX? Right, and yeah, if you do want to get some analysis on that, let me know. I'm gonna be checking, but then I think on our exchange, which is the exchange I'm officially trading with right now, we have several TradFi instruments that that people would really appreciate. Trust me, that's That's the truth. So let's do it this way. Let me log into your exchange, log into TradFi. And again, there's prediction markets. I mean, there's just so much I'm going to be talking about in the course of today. But then what primarily is important to look at the market chart and analyze what it is. Okay, just for clarity's sake, I'm going to be doing a bit of analysis on Bitcoin. And of course, we're going to start by looking at the DXY. So the dollar index is one step we traders want to take to have a clear understanding of where the entire market will be headed for, right? So we look at the DXY. I mean, let me say prior to Trump's administration. But then we look at the dollar to say, yes, okay, if the dollar is going this way, Euro USD will go this way, gold will go this way, this particular asset will go this way, and of course that and that. And trust me, prior to now, and I'm using the word prior to now because that's the truth. It's to a large extent 90% or maybe 80% accurate, depending on what metric you want to use. Yeah, run it up. Okay, I mean, I got you. Just here, got you just here. I mean, well, you might think the market is pumping, but then what if it's still within a range? Because I think I want to really show you something. Just here, and everyone really here listening to me, right? Do you see the fact that there is still a range between here, right? Just like that. So now let me just use this, duplicate in that. This is still a range. There is outrightly no factual proof, technically speaking, that says Bitcoin is going to be buying from now. And I think this was on Monday. Was it Monday? I think so. Or Monday or Tuesday. I had a live stream, because on LinkedIn also, where I was doing some geometric progression calculation. What was I doing essentially? So let me open the chart so you guys could see that. I was playing around, right? Yeah, this was it. So I was playing around the market low, like the all-time low, the all-time high, each peak point of the market, and I was looking at how many percentage drop the market had in every of its bullish cycle, specifically for Bitcoin, right? I began, from like, I think here. So yeah, I began 2014, and of course I ran the old journey up until the last bullish cycle. And when I was done, the conclusion I reached is the difference between the 2018 bear market, 2022 bear market, and of course 2025-26 bear market is literally we had a look at this. So let me just show you this. We had, I think it's a 7% here as the market low for the drop, and then the next we had 84% drop from its peak point to the lowest point, which is the difference between that particular bear market of 2014 and that of 2018 is about 4%. I mean 3%, right? And the drop in the 2022 bear market, brought the market from the peak point of like 66k to a low of like 15k thereabout, and of course that drop was about 78%. And so the difference between that particular drop and the 2018's drop is about 6%. So I was gonna I concluded by saying, now as it stands now, if we've always had a sort of geometric progression where 87% and then it became 84% with a 3% difference, and then the next was 77%, which shows that we had a difference of about 6% between 78% and 84. Then the next should actually be giving us a times 2 of that previous 6%, which is a 12%. So if we're going to be subtracting 4% from 78%, we should have 66%. And so that was why I was of the opinion that there is a slim chance, or let's say there is a high possibility, or let's say there's a 50% chance that we as well, okay? Yeah, we just could see, that's just one thing I identified in my pattern recognition. There is a possibility for us to see Bitcoin dropping more, because this is 66% somewhere here, and where the market got to from its peak point of 120, 126k is, let me show you that right now. How far the market got. from 126k, 127k, whichever one you want to call it, 126k. So the market has only dropped how many percent? It does only drop 50%. So I'm saying there's a possibility for us to see an extra 16% drop or 20% more drop, which is the reason why I'm out of the opinion that, all right, fine. This might not be the absolute, low, and we might still see a bit of drop. Of course, that might be just some random school of thought that is not still factual. Again, that's the market. Okay. Now, I mean, I think that's pretty much enough for the moment. If you wouldn't mind me saying. All right. What I want to address today is something very much simple, and trust me, I would love to look at the volatility markets and several other, tradable stocks that are available on our exchange. So we began discussing Clarity Act yesterday, and interestingly enough, this was a very important chart that I think everyone began to find interesting, because oftentimes people are not certain of what certain subjects are about, and as such, they don't even know how to draw interpretation of what this subject are addressing. Okay, so yeah, what does that signify? I mean, the drop. Just to be clear, I want to be sure you're referring to the Bitcoin drop. So if you're referring to the measurement I was making reference of, what I was measuring was the extent of the percentage for the Bitcoin bear market drop. That was what I was measuring, right? Practically and primarily, nothing more, nothing less. And I'm actually on several charts, and I'm trying to keep up with all of these communications, and definitely would appreciate you all. Yeah, definitely would appreciate you all telling me, I mean, being patient with me till I eventually bring you guys responses. So the measurement I was doing was for the bearish market's percentage from the peak point to eventually the low. And of course, I measured it over time, and I was able to see that 4% was a drop, was the level of dip Bitcoin had in 2014. 83% or 84% was the level of dip Bitcoin had in 2018 during the bear market, and 78% was the measurement of the dip Bitcoin had in 2022. And when you look at the price difference, there is a progression in multiples of 2, which means that Bitcoin was having a 3% difference between the 2014's bear market and the 2018 bear market, and it had a 6% difference between the 2018 bear market and the 2022 bear market. And if that logic stands, that implies we should expect a 12% difference between the 2022 bearish market and, that's the dip, and the 2025 to 2026 bearish market, which implies that if 78% is the level of dip Bitcoin had in 2022, subtracting 12% from that should easily give us an expected dip of 66%. Again, that's all probability. And so if that's the case, we estimated that there is still a likelihood for Bitcoin to drop from wherever price it is right now to around 43, 42k, which is still highly debatable, right? Okay, right. That was what I was explaining, and I hope that answered your question. All right, so primarily what we're here today is to discuss a bit more about the Clarity Act, and maybe to look at what we have to discuss around the market. So again, I'm going to begin by defining the Clarity Act, and I would love to know what the implication is, and for the market. So I think that's it. We're going to be discussing that right now. Yesterday we opened Senator Loomis's chart, and we began running through several of what she was going to say about the Clarity Act. So I think what I'm going to be doing right now is pulling up a chart, pulling up in several news, all right, and of course CoinMarketCap and a few other things. We're gonna keep this live stream very short, maybe less than an hour or 1 hour, all of that. But let's start by defining what the Clarity Act is. So the Digital Asset Market, or the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, is a proposed US law designed to create clear rules. Like I said, for cryptocurrencies, the goal is just to make room for certainty and to take away the ambiguity that seem to be attributed to several assets that are crypto related because they are often not seen as securities. So, regulators who oversee different types of crypto assets are going to come to the very end of the uncertainties they're having or they are struggling with when it comes to the legal framework for that particular industry. So this is what Clarity Act literally means. So it clearly distinguishes digital commodities, which are regulated mainly by the CFTC, which is the Commodity Futures and Trading Commissions, from digital securities, all right, which are the ones regulated by the SEC. So a regulator know which is their regulated assets, right? That kind of thing, and to know what is under whose custody, right? So Clarity Act is going to be bringing a set of rules, right, for crypto exchanges, brokers, and digital asset businesses. It's going to define what blockchain network is considered sufficiently decentralized enough, and it's going to strengthen disclosure, registration, and consumer protection requirements, right? So the implication of this we're going to be going into right now, but then I think having defined what this means, I mean, a whole lot of clarity is already been given. So let's leave the chat for a moment. Right now, I think we've been on the chat for just too long, and let's come right back to the news. By the way, I think for me, this is New York session. I think I'm going to probably want to see if we could take advantage of the market. So let's come back to the chat. I was on the other time. So let's see if we could take advantage of the market right now. This is New York session. I'm going to make a prediction. We're going to make an analysis and we'll see how, we can take advantage of the market right now. I think that's pretty much important for me. Oh my God, this is not the chat we're on. So just to get back to the charts, I think. Okay, I think this was the chat I was on. Yeah. So I argued that we still seem to be within a market range. So I'm going to come back to the implications of the Clarity Act while we look at Bitcoin's price action. By the way, if you know, or if you don't know, you know that Bitcoin is literally a leading indicator for the entire crypto market. So once you know what Bitcoin is doing, you almost can tell what the other markets are going to be doing. By the way, if you're watching for the first time, my name is David. I'm from West Africa, Nigeria. I'm super excited to be hosting you. What we do is market analysis. The founder and leader of BitChase. At BitChase, we chase opportunity, we chase profits, we chase people not for owning them, but for connecting them to every potential and possible opportunities there are in the space. And I wanted to be part of that community. So on YouTube, you'd find the link to join our community on Telegram to be part of that community. And by the way, at the moment, I'm trading with FameX. The link to trading on FameX is around this video. You will find that there, and of course you could see the referral code on the screen. Once again, you're welcome to my show and I'm super excited to be hosting you. Of course, you can always drop questions in the comment section. I look forward to running through those questions. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you, Nee. Thanks, Nee. And by the way, I'm just calling your name Nidav. I don't know if you're wearing David also, but that sounds like it. Yeah, Nidav 4692. Thumbs up to you, man. Okay. Before we go into the news, let's do an analysis on Bitcoin market. So right now, we would agree with me that where the market is currently sitting on is a very critical demand zone. I mean, I think this is not something anybody needs to argue about, right? I mean, primarily clear, and that's the truth. So you could see that it's a flip zone. There was a supply here, and of course there was a demand here, and the market is respecting the demand. And guess what? I can tell you for free that everyone who knows what supply and demand are about and key levels can always say, this level must hold. Of course, I believe that also. In fact, I'm not going to be surprised if it doesn't, if it holds. That's what I expect, which is why I already began to buy back into some cryptocurrencies. But again, a part of me knows that there is still that tendency and possibility, oh my God, for the market to drop. Drop, you mean? Yes, I mean, that's the truth. Based on that logic I explained earlier on. Again, if you're just joining, you can always refer to some 5-10 minutes prior and find out what we've just explained. Okay, so fine. If you know IST or liquidity, you would agree with me also that we have several liquidity pockets the market could likely come back to retest. For instance, there is a fair value gap right here. Let's draw that out quickly. So that is one. That's about 47 to 43, 700K size liquidity. By the way, well, some persons might say, well, There is liquidity here, but I would argue no. Reason being that this particular candle week has come to mitigate the fair value gap between this huge bullish candle. So, in a word, I mean, I wouldn't think there is a liquidity here that the market is really addressing. I don't think the market is going for this one anymore. Worst case, I'm thinking the market is going to come back for the liquidity. Jesus Christ. At best, I think the market is going to come back to take the sell side liquidity resting below this candle week. So just to be clear, I think that's a possibility. And of course, I'm not saying that I'm all in waiting for that level. So I'm strategically already in trading the market, which I think is very, smart. And if you're a trader or you're someone who knows what strategic investing is about, and of course, I have several coins that I've researched on, already begun buying since about 2-3 weeks. And that's the truth. I think I'm going to keep doing this up until the month of August, September, which is going to be like the final point or final moment I'm going to be buying. And I think so, because towards the early weeks of September, if Bitcoin were going to be dumping to 44K, it would have done that. No arguments, no falls, just pure market logics, I think. Okay, so now fine. I think this liquidity the market is probably coming for. And of course, when you look in relation to where the market is right now, you would agree with me that the market has come relatively close, but not close enough, I guess. Yeah, this is how far the market has gotten. It is tapping right there. And of course, this is a liquidity point that I think the market could still play into and tap into here. Well, you might argue that's not a possibility. And I think I also believe that also. Because in the market analysis, there are rules of duality, which implies that two things can exist at the same time, but your and my risk management is always the way to always go about it, which again explains why I don't think I'm overly excited about an analysis. I'm not. No, I'm not. Oh my God, I am not. I'm not excited about an analysis, whatever it might be, because I think anything can actually happen in the market. So I'm just going to put a bell here, which is my way of saying I think the market is going to ring a bell around 45K in a no distant future, right? Correct. So now there are moments in history where key levels like these have broken. The market, right, has tested it here, and of course, this is the second test. My hold, again, I think it just could break. My thoughts. Just my thoughts. And if you're watching, please try and subscribe. I would appreciate you doing that right now. Right, I would appreciate you doing that big time. Yeah, epic up here with London. Okay, I want to confirm what you mean by London. What do you mean by London? Do you refer to... Yeah, do you refer to the London session? Please trying to be clear. London sessions. I want to know if that's what you're saying, so I can know what you're doing. So I'm going to open a session now, look at the market, and see how we could get the market right now. So I think my stance is clear. So either the market drops or it doesn't drop. All right, let me just take all of this off. And my channels and different names up here. Either the market drops or it doesn't drop. One thing is clear, I'm going to tell you for free. Pertaining Bitcoin, which is primarily where we're going to be making the discussion, and then going to looking at the implication of the Clarity Act. Either the market does something like, I don't know if it's going to do something like this. This is one possibility anyways. Either the market does something like that, or it just goes ahead to buy. And of course, the market doesn't just move all the way straight, as I've just drawn that. I'm just, making some decisions. I think one thing is clear, I'm going to tell you for free. Bitcoin is going to rise into like 180K. I'm going to argue or tell you the reasons why I think 180K to 200K is the next stopping point for the market in this next bull run. I'm probably going to be talking about that maybe next video, which is more reason why you want to be there. Don't miss out. I tell you, you don't miss out on that particular video. And again, this is going to be a rush. Why? Because I'm just making some tests. Tomorrow we're going to take things bit by bit. Of course, review them in phases. So I think that's it. And so either ways, what? Hope my voice is clear enough, guys. I want my voice to be very much clear. Yeah, I want to be sure my voice is clear. Yeah, so just to be sure my voice is clear, I think there is some level of issues with the streaming strength. Yeah, London session. Got you. Thank you very much, Nidav. I'm gonna get right into that. Okay, my voice is clear. I'm good. Let's keep going, guys. All right, so I'm gonna compare Bitcoin to the New York London session. But then this is what I'm saying, so you can know is that either ways, either it drops a bit of some maybe 30% right now, 25%, or it doesn't. Just know that Bitcoin has way over almost 150% or more to still do. So the upside of greater advantage, which is like almost 200%. So this is going to be like now to Q1 2028 or Q2 2028 or some places Q4 2028. But then I think getting into the game right now is something to get for close to 2 years straight away. Right, that's it. Okay, now let's go to the section of breakdown and see how we could trade the market right away. I mean, I think this is important for me. So on a weekly time frame, you might argue anything you want. I mean, I'm not here to prove which analysis is the best. Against the best, would say pull up the RSI and do that quickly. So you'll see that the resistance strength index of the Bitcoin market is signaling kind of bullish divergence. Why? Because you see that, on the candles chart, you can see the market coming down, but on then, that kind of thing. You should know what this is about, right? On the RSI chart is sort of going up from this point to this point, it's lower, from this point to this point, it's upward, which is what we call a bullish divergence, right? Essentially. Okay, when you have that, kind of move opposite to what you see on the chart, correct? Yeah, so now that's it. That's fine. But since that's the case, and then we are currently here, what do we understand from the market candle open and candle close? Well, on a 6-month candle, we could see that the market took the liquidity of the previous month candle. Yes, I must show you that it's a liquidity and it's pushed higher, and it's pushing higher to a very huge engulfing bearish candle. Yeah, and the way I'm saying this to imply that my expectation is this thing will drop slightly here, slightly below this candle. Oh my god, you need to believe that, because that's where the liquidity is. Slightly below this candle, and this 6 months candle will eventually go upwards. Believe it or not, this is a key point I think we should begin to think of getting at Bitcoin. 45k trigger buy. That is tricky to get stable again. Start buying into Bitcoin. I mean, I hope my sermon is very clear. I don't think I'm saying do nothing, buy nothing, get nothing into the market. No, that's what I'm saying. No. All right, so I wasn't saying that. Just to be so clear, I wasn't saying that. I want to check. Just a moment, guys. I'm trying to see what's up with our sound, and I want to be so sure it's really coming out well. Yeah, because I think this is important. Just a minute. Okay, I want to be so sure our sound is coming out clearly, guys. Just want to be so sure. Just to be sure our sound is coming out clearly. I think there's something I need to probably fix. I don't still know what that is right at the moment. All right. I don't know if it's me, but then maybe I'm a perfectionist, but then I really want to get this thing clear. Okay, fine. So we're good. Let's keep going. All right, guys. So now this is what I think is happening holistically on Bitcoin. So right now, let's come back to the 1-day chart. So we've seen what 1 week looks like, and we've seen what every other market looks like, and all of that. So we need to come back to the 1 week chart. So this is still a range. That's very much clear. Very much clear. And until this point gets broken, I wouldn't think we should assume overly bullish. So accept with me. So let me come to this. Is this daily time frame? Yesterday was very much bullish, as well as the previous day was bearish. So it has really got into a very critical point. So liquidity, let me just do liquidity stuff as I always like to do. So this liquidity got taken. This is a shift of structure. So we can see that there was a shift indeed here, but yeah, take note of that. This was a market shift. You call it a POS, I'm just gonna call it a shift. All right, this liquidity needs to be taken from the thing that we are trying to bullish. Just be at that, put that at the back of your mind. So whatever you call it, that point must be taken if I think it's actually bullish. But it says I still think this is a range. Let me take this box away so we can actually have things more clearly. And coming to the forward chart, this is what I want to look into right now. How is the market playing out? Of course, you call this draw what I want to draw, right? But then this was a lower high that sponsored this low, and until it is invalidated, we have no business thinking that we are outrightly bearish, bullish. And there is a very interesting indicator that I think I stumbled upon lately. I'm simply referring to this year, anyways, early this year. Where is it? Just a moment, please. Yeah, in fact, the name is not coming to mind, but I know this thing very much well. I don't know if we should stop this stream because of the way my sound is coming out. I don't know what to do. I'll check this out. I don't know why I needed to disconnect my mic to be sure everyone can hear me. I don't know why that is. Oh my god. Yeah, so let me get my box. Sorry, please. Okay, I think I'm remembering where I said it. Yeah, anchored volume range or fixed volume range. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, this is the point of control. That should be the market. So the from the market didn't actually attract, we can set it from that point. Okay, from this high to this low. All right. Okay. Anyways, this is what I was trying to look for. This is point of control, and then the market is not respecting that point as usual. Market has moments when it breaks rules. So I'm going to look at the section needed. Just I'm going to do a little bit. I'm just trying to have a pictorial view of the market. Anyways, this is a critical, what do you call that now? Supply zone. Why? Because the market had always sold up from that point. Not just here. Let me mark it properly. Yeah, relatively from this point. So the market has played into that particular supply zone. This is where we are right now. Okay, so this is what our chart looks like. So now, would you mind me coming to one of our chart? Well, this is a liquidity gap here, and of course, there are several liquidity pockets, right? This is a demand zone, and this is one demand zone. So we'll look at the 1 hour chart and then open the indicator, the session indicator. No, not this. Don't open the indicator for the sessions. So we could see that because this is today. What we have for London session is this. The London session was relatively bullish, as you can see it. Tokyo was a range as well as essentially Asia session was a range, right? Which was yesterday's candle closure into today. So it was a range. So you'd agree with me that that was a range, yes. And then London pushed above the New York went to grab. So this is what some investors call accumulation, manipulation, distribution. If that is the case, then what we are seeing literally playing out right before our face is a very symbolic moment, and we call it symbolic because it's something that is rarely not seen, but oftentimes ignored and very very important. Yeah. So you could see that's the accumulation. If that is what the market is practically doing, then you have so this range began yesterday. So look at how New York session opened essentially, which I think let's go to the 30 minutes chart and see for ourselves. Yeah, so this is it. It was New York session that so London did the manipulation. This was from around 11:30 towards the peak of London. By the way, London session is very much in vogue. So London session now understand what I'm saying, but we could see a we could see distribution happening. And the thing is, a distribution is not, um, how do you say the word? Very much perfect. Like you could tell when that's probably happening. If this is the case, then we could have a distribution into this area of the gap zone. So now comparing time frames like you did act. So you'd say this is Asian, and if I'm going to be trying attempting this, right? Of course, I know this is a range. And I could attempt to make a trade off this because of what I understand market is going to probably be doing based on my analysis, which again is very much probabilistic. And you need to know why stop losses are very much important when it comes to understand the market. You have to make a trade, and of course, yeah, bank on stop loss. So I'm going to probably, of course, I do two reward to one ratio. I'm going to be targeting like the favorable gap here or least liquidity. So I'm going to probably be looking at the next 5 minutes candle open. Why? Because it's going to be leading me to, yeah, I'm probably looking to that candle open. And the reason is simple. Why? Because I want to see how the 1 hour candle, the next 1 hour candle, which is going to be opening in the next 5 minutes, is going to be probably react. So this is London session, which is essentially running all through both sessions. And then I'm going to probably be looking at, because New York session is really in vogue already. So this is what I think about Bitcoin right now when it comes to sessional comparisons. I want to be asked as a question needed. Is my voice going that way? All right. If this is the case, then let's see if I can open. Yeah, that's really my take at the moment. Why am I talking this fast? I don't even know. I thought I'm not speaking terribly. Guys, you know what I'm gonna probably do? Just a minute, let me try and see if I could fix what's wrong with the voice thing. I don't know what it is. Will you give me a minute to quickly check this out? And of course, all right. I mean, you need to confirm the voice with me, guys, and tell me this is great. And that's gonna be my joy. All right, let me just hear that myself now again and be so sure The network strength is way better. I want to be sure that okay. Or I think the voice is way better, and of course, network strength is better. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think we just have to go live on one more platform, which is what we're trying to do right away. Right. I think we're good. We're back. Everything is back, better and bigger. So now right now it has pushed back up, which is what I was waiting to get, like a little bit retest. And then it gives an opportunity to short. So yeah, I mean I think thank you, Lord. Lord. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. I mean, since we are good back now, I think it's 3 p.m. This is the shot I want to take. It could be very risky if this is the case, but then that's what I'm thinking of doing. This even says reward to risk ratio, but then that's where the stop loss is going to be like right above there. If this is going to be like a short, that's what I'm probably wanting to do. I'm thinking of taking a shot right there, exactly at this point, and taking it that low. A 3 reward to risk ratio is not outrightly bad on that, but then I think that's so yeah, this is it. Sounds funny, but then I'm thinking of taking a shot at that point with a stop loss there right now. Not a financial advice because we've been quite clear on the logics around what has kind of would I say inspired? Oh, so yeah, I mean I think that's it. We've Yeah, not even financial advice, please. I must say that again and again. But then I'm thinking of taking this short right from this point with a stop loss at 65, 600 with the hope that really that was a manipulation and that I'm trying to see. And so if taking that shot, you must have maybe heard the sound. 65, 560. The take profit is where 63, 400. So I already executed a shot right now, which is why I think everyone who joins the live stream should always strive to be a part of right now. I think that's it. Right, let me just drop this on our community and see if people's gonna probably commenting. But then let's be optimistic. The market is not a place where you get to decide everything the market is doing, but then we took that short, and again, that's because of what we know the market is gonna probably do. That this is an AMD playout. That's what we think. I think it's enough of analysis for today. This is our analysis. This is what we think the market is gonna probably do, and of course, it doesn't go that way. It takes out 67K. Just know for a fact, that we are seriously seriously bullish. Once it breaks above 67K, at least for the moment. All right. So, anyways, we are outrightly bullish. So don't get it wrong. Don't get it wrong. We just think there is still possibility for a bit of downside before eventually, going up. Yeah, so I'm gonna be looking forward to your questions in the comment sections and all of that. So, Dave, I hope that answers your question right now. So, I was saying, London session. I'm gonna come back to that right now and make it a bit more clearer. So sorry. I think we're back. Yeah, I hope that answers your question really. About the sessional comparison, and I think for me, this is not gonna be like a bloody taste of the market today, but then that's what we literally have said we could probably do. So we looked at the market on a sessional point where like there was a range as of yesterday until today, which is the Asian range, and then London had this push. London went up. London section went up. Right, that was London session for you guys. So, and since that happened, we felt New York might just be the one that manipulates. Why? Because we have seen the weekly perspective, what our analysis seem to want to address, and we've also looked at the yeah, daily and of course monthly perspective. And overall, we know the market is bullish. Again, don't forget we began calling for a buy at 58K. And I'm still on a Bitcoin buy from 58K, so don't get it twisted. We're only looking for a point where we could, take advantage of the market for, for the moment right now. So that's it. Okay. By the way, just know that this is a very huge bullish engulfing candle. I just have to remind myself also, but then I know that this is also the kind of range until the market proves otherwise by breaking this point. Again, it really can. So that's just to get everyone on the same page. So I think right now we've had a very great, discuss around everything that we wanted to address today about the Bitcoin price action. So the price action right now is really, interesting, right? We're just in the heat of the New York session, and London session is wrapping up and is still in full projection. But again, we think, right, that this market could sell. And like New York could be a sell as London has, taken a buy, right? Following this accumulation that Asia session, created. Okay, so just to make more emphasis, I hope that answers your question. Maya, David, thank you. I hope my network speed is way better now. Right, so thank you. Okay, that's pretty much, settled. So let's come back to the Clarity Act and look at what we have. And by the way, I think I should bring you guys quickly to our exchange and show you some of the things that you can always trade on our platform. Yeah. I think that's important. And then I'm gonna probably look at coin market cap. Okay, maybe we're gonna look at liquidation heat map. I think that should be tomorrow. Might not be today. Because I just want to wrap things off right now, and I think that's what I want to do. Yeah, yeah, that's it for me. Mhm. Okay, so let's do it this way. Make it a day, make it a way. Let's come back here right now, guys. This trade is gonna be like a very tough one, I guess. But then I mean, I look forward to coming back to tell you of how profitable that trade, eventually became. Because that's gonna be like super exciting, as you can always tell. Right. So yeah, let's play with the Clarity Act for the moment. But we don't forget to use our code, right? Bitches on Femex. All right, so several talks, but again, summarily, this is according to this X handle. By the way, it's not a financial advice from whoever the person might be. He says the new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, just confirmed the Genius Act will be fully implemented across US banks in days. We're racing, quote, we're racing to put that out by this deadline, this Saturday. The Genius Act is the first crypto bill in US history. Trump is also prepared to sign the Clarity Act. Democrats call the Clarity Act a corrupt bill and threaten to vote against it. That campaigns against the Clarity Act. By the way, I think we've already explained what the Clarity Act is. I think the final thing I want to really do right now, if you really want to know the explanation we gave, you might need to go back to 35 minutes or 40 minutes into this live session. So, yeah, by the way, I think the market is really pushing upward right now. It is. So 65 to 60 thereabout, 65 to 50. All right. Our stop loss is very much closed, and we're just trying to keep things simply close. So we're going to talk about the implication of the Clarity Act in just a minute, and of course, get back to looking at the chart and then call it a close. So yeah, I think this is it. This is the exact post Trump made on Truth Socials in honor of Senator Lindsey Graham, a big supporter. The U.S. Senate would pass the Clarity Act. China and many other countries would like to take complete and total control of this major financial happening, as well as AI, where we are now leading, but where they are fighting hard. Don't let China win on either subject. President Donald J. Trump. Okay, I'm not going to comment on that, but there you have his word read to your hearing, word for word. We're already explaining what Clarity Act is going to be about. It's just about knowing which regulator is going to be either the CFTC or the SEC is going to be regulating what, and giving much more clearer rules so that consumers or users, citizens of these countries might be safe, right? Okay. Now, I'm not going to look into this because we spoke about this already yesterday from what Senator Loomis, confirms. I think that's all about the Clarity Act news as at the moment, but then let's come to CoinMarketCap and, of course, pick the news outlet we've got. This is Fimex, if you care to know, and this is a trade file section where you could trade, silver, gold, XAG, XAU, XPT, which is platinum, Tesla, several stocks. I mean, and the list goes on and on. All you've got to do is to use the link around the video you're seeing or this live session, and of course, get started. If you're looking for a place where there are less noise but refined liquidity, looking for a place where you have real-time customer support, looking for a place where you could multi-trade several assets, then Fimex is that exchange for you. All you've got to do is use the code BTC, which is now on the screen. Of course, get started. By the way, you could always trade crypto, which is, of course, what we're talking about. I mean, there are just so many stocks that you could pick from, as y'all can see. All right, there are metals, there are different categories. And I think I'm going to be looking forward to trading gold here with you guys very much soon. Join me in one of those sessions. Okay, so let's come to buy crypto. Just giving you a walkthrough of the overview of Fimex. I'm going to probably do a more in-depth one tomorrow. So yeah, you could actually buy crypto with your card as well as over the counter. So let's leave this section. Right, I think that's primarily what you want to see here. So this is Bitcoin. It's a 65,300. By the way, our trade we entered at 65,100. This is why leverage trading is something that requires some level of boldness, but then I think it requires a level of caution and, of course, risk management, which is again what we've just done in applying our stop losses, right? I think that's it. Let me just be so sure everyone can. I need to hear myself and the chat room. See, if you're in the community, please drop your greetings. All right. All right, I think the mic is back now, guys. Apologies. So I was talking about Pi Network, and I was like, this asset is gonna like, I think it's gonna like going, whoop. Yeah, it's gonna go really up, and I think so. So I don't know what news they got, but then I think it's gonna really make some very crazy, 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 crazy. Yeah, Pi Network is really gonna make some very crazy, crazy comeback. I don't even know. It is. It is gonna make a lot of comebacks, and people don't know that right now. I mean, I think now is the time for everyone to be, recapitulate and of course prepare for what it is the market is going to probably be doing. I, I for one think everyone should be very much ready and prepared and kind of pumped for what is really on the horizon. So let's also be optimistic about our trades, the short we are in, and I think we need to really prepare to get yeah. I mean I think that's it. So let's come back to the chat and again look at what the market is really doing. Yeah, so I think or maybe before I leave this place, maybe I should also maybe I should um I wanted to see what Pi network pricing is about. Yeah. So let's see the news. I'm not gonna read the news, I just want to see the Pi market pricings. So Pi network price surged nearly 20%. And what day was this news released? Yeah, 15th of July. Okay. So this is currently the market cap of Pi, less than a billion. I think it's gonna do Covenant next. Yeah, I think so. Hmm. Several wild comments on coin market cap, but that's not why we are here. Literally, I think it's really gonna make some very crazy facts. I'm not joking. It's gonna do that. Yeah, it's a cryptocurrency. There are several tokens I'm looking at right now, so I'm gonna give one of them, so you can actually know that I really have my eyes on some. I'm gonna be talking about some pre-sales. One of them is worthwhile. Meanwhile, I'm gonna look at the pre-sale. Maybe not today. Yeah, we're talking about that maybe tomorrow or some other times. But then let me look into just one random coin I know I have my eyes on, so that you guys could see this for yourself. So my eyes has been on Fabric. My eyes has been on Fabric. Yes, my eyes has been on Fabric. So you guys can know for yourselves that I mean I think Robo is gonna do very crazy, 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 crazy comeback. The market cap is very crazy. And I think I want to pitch so much of say funds into this this asset. The market cap, the market cap 28 million, FDV 127 million. This is very crazy, and it's a very great coin. I'm not joking. So those who are saying this is not gonna make a very crazy comeback, they might not know what they're saying, and I'm not joking right now. And I'm not even so sure if it's gonna probably make some very crazy, ridiculous low anymore. I don't think so. Like I'm not sure. So I think I just want to ensure that we have scooped a lot of these tokens, because when it's gonna be like making its own crazy comeback, it's gonna be like just one day and you will not even know when it's gonna probably make a very crazy move right back. So I think I've given you all a very important reason not to miss out on any of our live sessions, as we see a whole lot of thing in the horizon, like a whole lot of a lot of yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's just so much that you guys know that I think there's gonna be like so much you guys need to pay attention to, right? As the market unfolds, right? And there's gonna be like so much for y'all to understand. So because if it eventually drops, we will get a better pricing at which buyers would buy. But then I think this is a very important asset to get on. All right, let me leave Robo for a moment and come back to our trade. This is our trade right now, guys. Just let's keep that in the on the side while we'll expect what will be to be, and what will be to be is something we expect to be very, very positive news. That's what everybody would be wanting, right? So, but then again, our stop losses must be fixed and we must be prepared for whatever uncertainty the market wants to bring. I'm trying to. All right, I'm trying to. Oh God. Yeah, this is where we are right now. So I think that's all. Our stop loss is very much close right now. I think that's just important for me to state so you guys know for yourselves that it's what it is. Okay. So we meet again soon. Stay safe, keep winning. Don't forget to keep following us on across every of our socials. I look forward to having you joining us every now and then. So once again, thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part of what we're doing right here today. I mean, I think this is a very great one hour live session discussion. All right, thanks for saying hi. Okay. All right. So let's call it a wrap right now, guys. I guess episode of a good moment to end this live session with you. See you again tomorrow. Don't forget to use our code to own an account, and of course to use our link to get trading on Fimex. The link is somewhere around there. You could see it on um the iChats social app, and also you could see that on you know YouTube, right? You literally have the comments going on live right here, and I think I'm gonna appreciate everyone for joining. Right. See you later on. Thank you for coming. I'm gonna be calling it a wrap right now. Peace out. My name is David, and of course, I'll always be your host here at BitChase Showroom. Stay safe. Bye. Win more.